Hello, everyone, and welcome to another family engagement broadcast special from HES Academies. And I am proud to introduce today with us Alisha Meneely from the Government Community Outreach. She's the director of the Government and Community Outreach for Michigan Child Protection Registry. Very important information will come through her today. And before we start, I want to introduce her. She is a priority, or Alicia's priority is to advocate for the registry across the state of Michigan and help families stay safe while online. Alicia spent most of her past career working for a variety of Michigan legislators, assisting the Michigan Domestic Violence Homicide Prevention Task Force and fighting human trafficking as a leader on the Kent County Human Trafficking Coalition. She's a graduate of Michigan State University with a bachelor's degree in political science, pre-law. She has always been interested in social public policy issues that impact Michigan families. She's been working with schools across the state to promote the Child Protection Registry, and we are happy to share this information with you today. I will be translating a little bit in Arabic by the end of the episode, so stay with us for that. And also, we'll be sharing some of the links that Alicia will be sharing in the comment section for your convenience, so you can click on it immediately if you want to register right away, like I did when I listened first to Alicia's presentation. So welcome, Alicia. Without further ado, Alisha Meneely.
Thank you. Thank you, Wissam. It's really nice to be here today. I'm going to share my screen. Make sure you guys are seeing that correctly. Thank you very much. Yes, I work for the Michigan Child Protection Registry, and I'm here today to talk to you about the registry and to give you a toolbox, especially if you are a parent, that will help keep your kids safe while they're under your roof and they're on the internet. I am then going to talk a little bit about sexting and sextortion. I know a lot of schools are dealing with this issue. And so it's something that, I feel like is really important to talk about right now, especially when it comes to our boys. And then I am going to talk about the apps our kids are using, what predators are looking for, where kids are hiding things and stuff like that. And then once I am finished, I would love to take your questions. So I'm going to start out with the Michigan Child Protection Registry, which do not feel bad if you've never heard of it. There's a lot of parents that are out there that still have never heard of this registry. It is how it works is it's an internet safety registry. So you as a parent, you would go in and you would register you and your kids' email, text messages, and then any of the app handles that I have on the screen. So for Snapchat, Instagram, and the rest of those. And what will happen is within 30 days, you and your child will stop receiving any advertisements that a minor shouldn't be receiving in the first place. So any advertisements from pornography, gambling, tobacco, vaping, alcohol, and then marijuana companies, because that is legal here in the state of Michigan. One of the worst ones I've heard about lately is the online gambling ads that kids are getting through email and text. And I just had a meeting in Detroit with the with the gambling commissioner, and he unfortunately is getting phone calls from parents every single day because kids are getting on these online gambling sites using their parents' credit cards, using their social security numbers and their email addresses and their passwords. And they're unfortunately losing hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. And unfortunately, they do not give the money back to the parent. So I just want you to be aware of that. Also, the pornography ads, these will even stop coming into your kids' spam accounts. If you ever look into your spam or junk, that's where a lot of this stuff lands. So it'll stop even going into there. How it works is you are on this for 3 years, and then you'll receive an email from us asking if you and your kids want to still be on it. Maybe by then your kids are in college and you don't want to worry about what they're doing online anymore. Lastly, by law, these companies like Marlboro, Budweiser, Pornhub, even our wineries up north, they have to scrub their list with our list every 30 days and then take off all of the emails and phone numbers and app handles that we have given them. That is how that works. And we don't have a problem. Most companies we have found have been compliant with this law. I apologize up front for the wording, the words, and some of these text messages and emails that are on your screen right now, but I wanted to give you real examples of what this registry stops. So you see some text messages there, some emails. That black text message right there in the middle is a text message that went around where I live back in 2019. And unfortunately, a 9-year-old boy did open the website that you see there, and hundreds of naked women popped up all over his screen. The one there on the bottom is an Instagram direct message. So again, these are just examples of what the registry stops. How can you help? So I'm sure there's a lot of you out there today that are like, I've never heard of this registry. And so I'm the only one that's goes around Michigan talking about this registry and trying to promote it. So I would love your help. If you could definitely register your children, tonight or this afternoon. It only takes a couple of minutes. It doesn't take long. Please tell your friends and family and coworkers about it. Share the registry on your social media sites on Facebook. And if you are a part of a school or a church or any other kind of organization that has an e-newsletter, I can send you a blurb about the registry that you could put into any newsletter. I'm finding that that's the best way to get parents to sign up is to just email it to them. So that is the information about the registry. Now what I'm going to go into is just some internet safety basic 101 pieces of advice that I can give to you parents out there. But I want to warn you, I am going to give you all kinds of advice, and your kids still will probably see something someday. And so communication with your kids about what they might see, or what, strangers that are out there, all the bad people that are out there, you are still going to want to talk to them about this, because it is not if, it is when, even if you do everything that I tell you to do today. So the first thing I talk to parents about is parental controls. And there are so many free parental controls out there now that families can use. First, you can start at your network level. That is where I'm talking about the internet box that is probably underneath your desk or your bed somewhere. I'm not sure what kind of internet companies you guys have in your area, but if, let's say, I don't know if you have AT&T or Xfinity. If you have AT&T, I'm going to tell you there are no parental controls. If you have Xfinity in your area, there are tons of great free parental controls already on your internet. I would suggest Googling Xfinity internet parental controls, and then they will show you step by step on how to use them. Why this is important at the network level is this is so when your kids have friends over or cousins over, they will be under your same internet rules if they're using your internet. If you are like me and you have AT&T and there aren't any free parental controls for your router, you can purchase something, and it's a small monthly fee that you connect to that box that's hidden somewhere, and you will be given all the parental controls that you would need. I would highly consider Bark, which is a fantastic company and app, which I'll talk about in a bit. And there's one that's also called Circle. That one is also really good, with tons of parental controls for your internet. Then the second level where you can keep your kids safe is the device level. Now, all devices come with free parental controls. You just need to make sure that you use them. And it is very overwhelming. So, what I would do before you hand over that phone or the iPad, even a Kindle, make sure you Google iPad parental controls, Apple phone parental controls, and they will show you step by step on how to implement those. So I highly recommend you do that. And definitely with fate or with Christmas coming up, or any birthdays, anything, any other holidays that are coming up, if you are going to be getting them an Xbox or PlayStation, or VR, please make sure that you have those parental controls already implemented before handing it over, because our kids know how to play those things a lot better than we do. And then lastly, the app level. Apps never used to come with parental controls, and now most of them do. Even Pinterest has parental controls now because they were having such a porn problem. Um, the problem is with a lot of these apps now is, if the only way for parental controls to work is if you have an account on that app as well. So like Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, you have to also be an account holder. You have to also be on those apps, unfortunately. That's how the parental controls work. If you want another layer of parental controls, I highly recommend you downloading the app Bark. Now, I'm going to kind of ruin this for you guys for a second, but if you have an Apple phone, the Bark app does not work well. It does work really well with an Android. I try and talk to parents before they get their kids a cell phone, because I highly recommend an Android over an Apple. Apple parental controls are down all the time. And the reason they don't let Bark on their phone is because they don't like any third party apps. But what Bark does, it's really worth it. It's a monthly fee of like around $11. It looks at everything, every email that goes in, out, every text message that goes in, that comes in, that your kid puts out, the music that they're listening to, anything that they're Googling. You will receive an alert through email and through text message of any words that they are using or that their friends are using that might be a trigger. So any swearing, any drug use kind of conversations, bullying. It really, my daughter has a Bark phone and it catches everything. It's been a wonderful tool for us to use. Also, Life 360, especially if you have a 16-year-old, that is a great app to have. You can tell how fast your child is driving. You can also see if they are texting and driving. So that's a good one too. But no matter what, you do have to be in the know. And I know parents don't like to hear this because we're already so busy and trying to keep up with everything. But if your kids are going to be using Snapchat or Roblox or Instagram, you also should be using, or at least learn how to use those apps, so that when you're communicating with your kids, you actually know what you're talking about, because they will know if you don't. And also be prepared for your kids to come to you and tell you that they have seen something. Now, I tell parents, please stay calm because this is going to happen. And I suggest that you already have a response already ready to go, so that there isn't a shock and nobody's mad, and you're comfortable having that conversation. One thing you can do that's really helpful to a lot of families is have a family contract. And there are hundreds of social media family contract examples online. Just Google social media family contract. With my family, we sat down with the kids and we came up with a contract on our own. We wrote down all the rules. Even the kids came up with some of the rules, and they helped us come up with some of the consequences. And we printed it out and we have it on our refrigerator so that we are reminded every day. Lastly, make sure that the location is always turned off, not just at the device on the device, but also in all the apps. Make sure that all the accounts are private. And last but not least, make sure that whenever your child is using an app, make sure it's their birthday you're putting in and not yours. I know a lot of parents that have young kids that use Roblox right now, and they put in the mothers or fathers put in their birthdays. Well, if you are older, especially in apps like Roblox, then you can see more things for older people. So if you have a 5-year-old using Roblox, make sure that you put his or her 5-year birthday in there, because that means that he can only see, supposedly, only see what a 5-year-old should be seeing. Okay. So now I'm going to go into some sexting and sextortion issues so before I did this, I did a lot of human trafficking work. And I talked about sextortion and sexting all the time during those years. But it is amazing how many schools I go into now, and either the administrator or the RSO, the police officers that are in the building, the counselors, they're constantly coming up to me telling me, especially on Mondays, how much of a problem sexting and sextortion has become in their schools. Kids are sending naked pictures of each other to their boyfriends, girlfriends, and friends. And some of those pictures get leaked to other students. It's happening every day. I put sexting into 3 different categories. First, and I'm talking about minors. So, no matter what, even if the sexting is consensual, what our kids need to know is that it is illegal, because they are sending child pornography. If they take a naked picture of themselves, they are producing child pornography. If they send it, they're distributing child pornography. So this is a serious thing. But what I was going to say is I put sexting in 3 different categories. One is that relationship sexting. So that is, when there are 2 minors in a dating relationship and they're sending naked pictures back and forth to each other. The second category is friendship sexting. And most of you are going to be a little shocked at this. I definitely was when I first started hearing about it. I first heard about it from an intern that I had, because she told me that her and her friends do it. But groups of girls, like 4 or 5 girls that are really in a tight relationship with each other, have been known to send naked pictures of themselves to each other. I don't know why. I don't know the reasons for it, but it's definitely becoming more common. I've heard about girls where I live here in West Michigan that are doing this. And unfortunately, what happens to a group of girls? There's always a fallout, and then one gets mad and takes those naked pictures and sends them on to other students. This has happened in a lot of different school districts. Years ago, it happened in the Rochester Hills School District. A group of girls were sending naked pictures of themselves just to their group of friends. They had a fallout. One girl got mad enough to send these naked pictures of the girls to students, who then sent them on to more students. Over 80 students in Rochester Hills end up receiving these pictures. Some of these kids had to go through the juvenile justice system. Many of them needed major counseling. It was a huge detriment to the whole community, to be honest. It was in the newspapers. It was awful. But I just wanted to let you know that this is a thing with our girls. And then lastly, the last group of sexting that I think is important is sextortion. And what a lot of parents don't know is, even just the threat. Let's say you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and the girl wants to break up, and she has sent her boyfriend naked pictures of herself. And the boyfriend says, well, if you break up with me, I am going to send these naked pictures to your friends, to your family, to your boss, whoever. Just the threat of that is illegal. They don't actually have to go through with it, but it is illegal just to threaten someone with that. Now, one of the things that we always talk about when it comes to sextortion or any type of victims is girls. We're always talking about girls, and I feel like we're leaving the boys behind, which is why boys are being sextorted at a very high, fast-paced rate in the last, I would say, 5 years. We have had in the state of Michigan 5 that I know of boys die by suicide because of sextortion. And within the country that I know of that, has actually been put out there, I know of 38 boys that have died by suicide after being sextorted. And how this is happening is they will be on Instagram or Snapchat. They will receive a friend request from a girl, a very pretty girl their age. They will accept that friend request, and they will chat back and forth. Well, the girl will then send a naked picture of herself to the boy, and the boy will usually compliment her, say something nice, and then she will ask for a naked picture from him. He then will take a naked picture of himself and send it to her. She will then respond with, if you don't send me $200 in the next 24 hours, I'm going to send this naked picture of you all over social media. I'm telling you, these boys do not know how to handle themselves hearing this. They're embarrassed. They don't want to tell their parents. They don't have the money. And they also think that they're going to get in trouble because they just sent child pornography to someone. We need to talk to our boys about this because, first and foremost, these are not young girls that are friending them on social media or that, started talking to them. Usually these are men from other countries. For example, there was a boy in the UP that died after being sextorted, and the men that did this to him, that threatened him with this, were from Nigeria. And there was 4 of them, and there was like 20 men held up in a house doing this all day long, trying to sextort young boys and making thousands of dollars off of it. So we've got to talk to our boys about this first, that these are not girls, that these are older men. However, I do have to say, 2 of the boys that died by suicide here in the state of Michigan, they were sextorted from young men their age in different states. So it used to be older men from other countries. Now younger men from our own country are starting to do that as well. So I highly suggest that you talk to your boys. My son, I gave him a phone when he turned 12. And this was the first thing I talked to him about. I wanted him, wanted him to know he could come to me, and I wanted him to know how to handle this. But I also wanted him to be able to respond if one of his friends were to come to him and was like, dude, I think I really messed up last night. I sent these naked pictures of myself. Now they're asking me for money. I want him to be able to help his friend out. And this is what you should do if this happens to you. First and foremost, the second they ask for money, stop communicating. Do not send the money. Stop communicating. And please tell your children to tell someone. Do not delete anything. Make sure you save all the images, all the videos, all the messages, take screenshots of everything. Then block the sextorter. And then my advice, if you're comfortable with it, and this is the only way we can catch these boys and men of doing this, is to contact the FBI. If you contact local law enforcement, they are just going to contact the FBI. So the FBI is asking parents to please use this tip line that I have on the screen to contact them immediately. Your child will not get into any trouble. I promise you. They will show up fast though, because they will want to make sure that your son is okay. They are so scared of more boys taking their lives than anything. And then if there are naked pictures out there of your son or daughter and they are minors, there is a website. It's called Take It Down. And this is through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They are able to, if you contact them and you know that you have pictures of yourself out there, they have a program that will that can scan the internet and take these pictures down. Okay, so next I am going to talk about the apps our kids are using. And a lot of these you have heard of. I just want to make sure that you know certain things that these, what our kids are doing on them. The first one, of course, we all know it is YouTube. And this is one of those where I'm going to say it is not if your child will see something inappropriate, it is when. You can put all the parental controls that you see here on YouTube, but I can guarantee you that something will slip through. That is why I strongly encourage you to have these conversations with your kids at a very young age before they see something on YouTube. I highly recommend if you have really young kids, like 6 and under, there is a really good book. It's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. And it is a way to talk about pornography to your young kids without using those words. But it really teaches them at a young age what pictures are good and what pictures are not good. It's a great way to start the conversation. I would highly recommend if your kid does use YouTube to make sure that you are at the very least in the room. Facebook. A lot of kids tell me nobody uses Facebook anymore, but it's still the most downloaded app, top in the top 10 downloaded apps in the United States. So people are using Facebook. I know for a fact a lot of sex traffickers use Facebook. They post a lot of job postings for dancers, for modeling, for acting on Facebook. You have to be very careful of those. Also, what you need to be careful with all of these apps that I'm talking about are traffickers, and I'm just going to use the word predators because that's like all the bad people out there. Predators are looking for the exact same thing that they were looking for 50 years ago when it comes to looking for minors. What they're looking for in our kids is the exact same thing that they were looking for 50 years ago. Now they just do it differently. 50 years ago, they would hang out in malls, or even 40 years ago, they would hang out in malls, arcades, the streets, places where kids hung out. Now, now they just go on the internet and sit on their couch and don't even have to leave their home to find their victims. And they can find and groom a lot more at the same time now by just sitting on their couch and scouring the internet. What they're looking for is the same thing, though. They're looking for vulnerable kids. They're not looking for kids that talk positively online about their parents and their life and their sports and their friends. They are looking for the kids that are putting very depressing things out there, talking about hating their parents, using hashtags that even say, I hate myself. That is what they are looking for. Um, an example of this is I was at a anti-pornography conference years ago, and a guy that used to work in LA for a porn movie company, he would hang out in malls, and he said he always looked for girls in threes. And at first, none of us in the room understood why, but he said it's because when you see girls in threes, there's always that one that looks down and out. And he said that was the perfect victim. I would go up to her, I would give her my card, and 9 out of 10 times she would give me a call. They're looking for that exact same thing today. They're looking for our kids that are down and out and depressed. And our children put every single emotion that they have for some reason out on social media for these predators to find. Sorry. My clicker is going too fast. So, Twitter. Not a lot of kids are on Twitter. I completely understand that. However, kids that are on Twitter, I would be very worried that they're on there for the reason of pornography. Twitter is an anything goes kind of app. There are no privacy levels. There are no moderators. You can post anything you want on Twitter and it will not be taken down. So if kids are looking for porn, all they have to do is go to Twitter and search for it, and they will be able to see tons of it. So I just want parents to be aware of that. The next one is Instagram. I have to admit, I am pretty impressed with what Instagram is trying to do. They have been introducing more and more parental controls as the months go by. Now, if your teen wants an Instagram account, you also have to be on Instagram for this to work, because you have to connect your accounts together. If they are a minor, what I have listed on the screen is some of the rules that your kids will have. There will be a sleep mode. If their friends on Instagram do send them any nude photos, it'll be blurred. They cannot be contacted by any strangers, anyone that they're not friends with. And the content, supposedly, starting in January, any kind of feed will be deleted that isn't PG-13. Now, this all sounds great, but I'm going to tell you, most kids that I have talked to have several Instagram accounts. Most have the one that their parents are also hooked up to, and their followers are all their family members, their boss, just tons of friends. But then they'll have two or three other accounts that their parents do not know about, and they'll have less followers. And a lot of those will be people that they don't know. So I do need to let the parents know out there that our kids are definitely smarter and sneakier than than we want them to be. And so I would not be surprised if most of the kids, if you have older kids, that they have more than one Instagram account. The next app is Snapchat. I was very disappointed in my son's lacrosse coach. My son is a junior in high school, and I did not want him using Snapchat at all for a million reasons. But his lacrosse coach uses Snapchat to communicate with their players. And so he had to download it. And I was very disappointed in that. So we had a major conversation about Snapchat. There are some parental controls on Snapchat. If you want to know what they are, just Google parental controls for Snapchat. You will, as a parent, have to also have an account on Snapchat for them to work. Now, Snapchat has changed a little bit. There's a setting now where any of the snaps or messages can stay for good. The two things that worry me the most when it comes to Snapchat is the Snap Map, and then within Snapchat, there is a folder called For Your Eyes Only. And kids can take screenshots of snaps and put, like, let's say there is a naked picture that someone sent them. They can take a screenshot of it, put it in the For Your Eyes Only folder, and you, as a parent, will not be able to see that without the password. There is a password for that folder. But also, hackers know that this is where kids keep naked pictures of themselves or their friends or their girlfriends. So hackers have been getting into the For Your Eyes Only folder and taking those naked pictures, contacting the child whose account it is, and sextorting them, saying, "Hey, look at this picture I just got of your For Your Eyes Only. If you don't send me $200 in the next 24 hours, I'm going to send this on to social media." So kids have got to be aware nothing is safe behind that folder. The Snap Map also scares me. You can find someone down to the car they're in. And I have to tell you, if you have a daughter, this has caused a lot of problems for teenage girls, because teenage girls, I don't know why we were so mean at that age, but girls will find out that their friends were lying about where they were. And, one girl will be home thinking that her friends all were busy having to do family stuff that night. And then she'll look on her Snap Map and all of her friends are at someone's house, and she was not invited. I have to tell you, the schools that I talk to say that is a major problem in the girl groups in the schools. So TikTok, it looks like this is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. TikTok does have parental controls. You can control somewhat of what they see. You as a parent, though, also have to be on TikTok. What worries me the most, honestly, about TikTok is, yes, there's foul language. There is probably some nudity. The challenges can be brutal, can be deadly. A lot of kids have gotten hurt because of all the challenges that they put up on TikTok. But what scares me the most is what it's doing to our kids' brains. And what's really interesting, in the last week, there have been a lot of articles on this, and they're calling it brain rot. Brain rot is not a new term, but that's what they're calling it because kids, and this is even has now happened to me. Like if I am on TikTok or if somebody sends me a video now of something they want me to watch, if it's more than 30 seconds long, I can't even focus that long anymore. So I can't imagine what it is doing to our kids' brains by just watching 20-second videos all day and then go like for our teachers trying to keep our kids' brains focused on one subject for 30 minutes. I can't even imagine. So that's what is really scaring me with TikTok is our focus for adults and for kids. So Roblox, this is incredible. This is an incredibly popular app. My kids used it when they were really young as well. However, it is no longer a kids app. It now is more adult oriented than ever before. There are 300 million games on Roblox, and most of them are for adults. So I highly recommend, just like with YouTube, if your child is using Roblox, I highly recommend that you stay in the room because something can easily pop up in games. Sexual content can pop up in some of the kids' games. Definitely make sure your kids cannot chat with anybody because predators play where kids play. And they know that Roblox is where kids definitely play. And so they act like children of themselves and are able to chat with kids. So make sure that that is the chat is totally turned off. Make sure your child's birthday is correct on this as well. Starting in January, supposedly, this will be interesting to see if this even works. Roblox is implementing facial age checks. So it in front of the camera, you'll have to put your kid's face in front of the camera. I think you'll have to move it, to the left and to the right. And what they will do is they will guess what your age is. And hopefully, if you are 10, they say you're 10, and you will only be allowed to chat with people that are your age. Now, will this work? Definitely not 100%. But I wanted to let you know that that will be coming in January. Wiz. So this has been talked about a lot in the last couple of weeks. Wiz was around years ago, but it got taken down because of the problems it was having. If any of you know what Tinder is, this is Tinder for teens. You literally swipe right, you swipe left. This is a dating app for teenagers. Um, it supposedly uses facial recognition, but I know for a fact that it doesn't work well. They are using facial recognition for the same reason Roblox wants to. They are trying to guess your age and then only allow you to talk to those that are your same age. But I know for a fact that this has not worked, that there have been some young teen girls that have been contacted by much older men. Monkey. So, and just so you know, I've probably got like 3 more minutes. I'm almost at the end, so I can definitely take questions or whatever. Um, Monkey, so I'm going to warn you, there's like a ton of these kind of apps. I call these chat roulette apps. I don't know if any of you remember Omegle, but this does the same thing. You get on the app and you are, put into just a random face-to-face chat room with anyone, any stranger from around the world. Of course, predators know that kids think that this app is funny and they like to use it. And so there are a lot of predators, a lot of nudity on this app. And like I said, this is just one of there's probably 15 of these kinds of apps. This is just one example. So Twitch, if you have any girls or boys that are gamers, they might want to download Twitch. Twitch is an app where you pretty much watch your favorite gamer play games live. This isn't a terrible app. It's live streaming, so literally anything could happen. I know that the language isn't the best, and a lot of these games that their favorite gamers are playing are very violent. And you can also chat with people. You can chat with your favorite gamer if you want. So you have to be careful of that. You also have to be careful. A lot of these gamers ask kids for money. And so these kids, their parents' credit cards and start giving them money. One thing that I learned in the last couple weeks, in order for some of these gamers to get more followers, they are bringing young girls that are dressed not exactly appropriate, and they'll have the girls like sitting on their lap or next to them while they're playing the game to get more young boys to watch their channel. This next one, I do not tell parents very often, don't do this, do not let your kids use this app. But this is one I beg parents not to let their children use. Discord is kind of like Twitch, but on steroids. Discord was invented for the same reason that Twitch was. It is gamers playing games, but it has manifested into way more than that. In Discord, there are thousands of different chat rooms, and these chat rooms used to be for favorite games. Like if you were really into Fortnite, you would go into that chat room, for example. Now, predators and so many just bad actors are using Discord and are starting chat rooms for horrible things. A lot of child pornographers use Discord to get into chat rooms and talk to other child um, predators, and they talk about what they're doing. They give each other tips. They trade pictures. Also, this is where a lot of kids get radicalized. They go there. There's a lot of scary conspiracy theory political chat rooms. One of the last two school shooters in the United States was using Discord and was in chat rooms, very violent chat rooms, getting ideas and that, and just talking about things that just made him more angry, them more angry and more angry. This is just not an app for children whatsoever. Why does that keep happening? Okay, now just like the chat roulette apps, this app is called Vaulty, and there are probably a good 15 or 20 apps that are just like this one. What Vaulty is, a vault, these are called vault apps. And these are apps where your kids or anyone can hide anything behind. Let's say you tell your kid that they can't be on Snapchat. Well, let's say they download Snapchat anyway, they can hide the whole app behind this app. And the only way you can get into it is with a password. So your kids could have a dozen apps that you don't want them to use, or pictures that they don't want you to see behind this app. And you cannot get to it unless you know the password. The original Vault app that I still like to remind parents of is the calculator app. I've always told parents, if your kid has two calculators on their device, one is definitely not a calculator. This does the same thing. It hides, pictures and other apps, and it is password protected. So just make sure your kids don't have two calculators. And that is the end of my presentation. This last screen has all of my information. Please, if we don't have time for questions today, or you're not comfortable asking questions today, please email me or text me. If you have a question about your kids and what they're doing online, if you have questions about an app, if you have questions about parental controls, I am here to help you. Please contact me. The website for the registry is on here. And then lastly, if you're on Facebook, please follow me at Protect My Child. Every day I usually post something about a new app that's out, or a new parental control that's out, or if something happened to a kid, in the state of Michigan because of social media, I will make parents aware of that. And so please follow me. And that is it.
Thank you, Alisha. What's such an important presentation. How much time do we have for questions? We have a few questions.
Perfect. I have time.
Okay. First question is, how frequently is the filtering database updated? And what's the process for identifying new harmful websites or platforms that target minors. Are you aware of the process?
Okay, so the first question is about the registry, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Every 30 days, it gets updated
Mhm.
for the registry. Ask the second question again.
What's the process for identifying new harmful websites or platforms that target minors? Is it like what kind of metrics? Is it driven by indicators such as keywords or behavioral algorithms or ISP level filtering?
That's a big question. That I don't know if I can answer. A lot of these websites, it is based, it definitely the algorithms are what gets you, and that's, how you go down a lot of these bad roads. I'm not like a very techie person when it comes to that, so I'm not sure, but what you do need to know is like any of these websites that are adult oriented, if minors do get on them or post anything or commit suicide because of one of them, like these companies, these websites are have total immunity. So there is nothing that can be done. There is legislation out there that we're trying to fix that because so many kids are dying from buying drugs on these apps, committing suicide on these because people are telling them to on these apps, posting pictures of, nude minors on these apps and websites. And they cannot get in trouble for that, unfortunately.
Uh, Another question we have here is how does the program handle emerging platforms like new social media apps that may not yet have established risk profiles? Are some of these sites that you mentioned, are they included in the registry? Can you talk to us? What does the registry prevent exactly?
So what the registry prevents is, and here I can go back to the apps. There's only certain apps that the registry looks at because there's some apps like Facebook that won't let us.
Mhm.
So what it stops is it stops all m- advertisements from going into your email, onto your text message, and then any direct messages like in Instagram, Snapchat. It'll stop all advertisements from going into your DMs.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So the once the child, once we provide that, the parent provides that phone number in the registry, then that phone number will not receive spam messages that are related to pornography, gambling, tobacco, alcohol. But other type of advertisements, there still will go through. It doesn't affect them, right?
Correct. It is just ones that it is illegal for a minor to buy.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh, and also the email of the minor will have the same effect on it.
Same. Yep.
Mhm. Um, is the registry also open for adults?
Yep. As a parent, any adult can also register themselves. Absolutely.
And it will also stop the same type of materials for them?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any sort of confirmation that has to take place? Like if a mother registers her 17 years old daughter, does the 17 years old daughter get a text message or something that she has to confirm?
Nope. So they will get an email, but they cannot take themselves off of it.
Okay.
So by law, we just have to let them know that they've been added to this registry, but
Mhm.
they cannot go into the registry and then take their email and their cell phone off of the registry.
Okay, awesome. Um, Another question here. What challenges do you face in encouraging families to register?
You know what? The hardest thing to do, it's not even to register. It's that, you as parents, you guys are so busy. I am too. I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old, and it is so hard to to keep up on all this stuff. But this registry is super easy. You just go to the protectmychild.com website and it just takes you 2 minutes. But it's hard to sit down and like get yourself to do it. That's why I think the easiest way to get parents to do it is through like an e-newsletter, or if you email it to them, because they're already sitting at their computer and it just takes, just a minute or two. But this is a lot of stuff, oh my gosh, this changes constantly. And it's just very overwhelming. I always have parents leaving my trainings very overwhelmed, and I always feel so bad. You can only do the best that you can.
Right. There was a bill in Michigan introduced to some sort of limit or prohibit pornographic sites. Are you aware of the details of that?
I am a little bit. Yep. The problem is that is a First Amendment issue.
Mhm.
And so until the only thing that they can do is perfect their age verification mechanisms on those sites, but they don't want to. They want kids to go to those sites because they make more money that way. I do know of that bill, but unfortunately, I think if it did pass, someone would probably sue the state of Michigan because pornography is unfortunately under the First Amendment.
Okay. We have another question. Can parents receive reports or alerts about attempted access to harmful content?
So not through the registry, but if you download Bark, the app, or if you buy your son or daughter the Bark phone, absolutely. It alerts you about everything that they do that you don't want them to do. It is phenomenal. It is there. The app and the phone are not expensive. I highly recommend them.
Awesome. Okay. Another question is, let's see here. Do you have any metrics of the success of the program? Are there yearly reports?
I don't. We have over 1 million people between the state of Michigan and Utah on the registry. I mean, I don't have any metrics. I know of my friends and family that are on it. They have stopped, especially like, in your email spam folder. I feel like that's kind of the worst. They have stopped receiving all of this stuff because of the registry. But I don't have any like metrics, unfortunately.
All right. And is this program provided by the state?
Yeah, good question. This is through the state of Michigan. It is actually administered under our Secretary of State's office.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Let me see here if there's any questions that hasn't been. Is there any differences in how the system protects children based on device type, such as Chromebooks, iPhones, Android tablets, or gaming consoles?
So, yes, I would highly suggest, and this is going to be hard because kids aren't going to like this. I would not suggest an Apple phone for kids. Have I been glitching this whole time?
No, you haven't.
Okay, shoot. So a lot of, like I said, kids aren't going to like this. If you really want the best parental controls for your kid and they haven't had a phone yet, I highly suggest sticking with an Android. Their parental controls are much better than Apple's, and the Bark app works on an Android. But you might piss your kid off.
Well, also Apple, I want to mention because, for parents who already have, Apples for their kids and, for who like to stick with that platform, that also screen, there is a way to actually control the phones of children by parents on Apple through screen limit times and app limitations and website limitations and all kinds of filtering. And we've done PDs before to parents to teach them how to do this. We'll probably have to do it again as a reminder. But actually, Apple has embedded in it a system of really a lot of controls for children and screen time, as well as other types of phones, but also these additional apps tend to be much more stronger. So by the end of our podcast, we want to encourage parents to register at this program supplied by the state of Michigan, and it's I have done so immediately after the presentation of Alisha last time, and I wanted to share this with all our parents. That there is this registry in the state of Michigan called protectmychild.com, my spelled as MI, standing for this, state of Michigan. And it will prevent your child's phone number or email from receiving any advertisement or spams that are illegal in nature to minors. Also, very important information was shared about the issues of sexting and sharing such information and predatory presence on these websites. We will create some more clips of this, Alisha, and share it with parents. And also, Alisha will be visiting some of our schools this year and hopefully upcoming years. Starting, I think you're coming to Star International Academy next month, if I'm not mistaken. But we will inform you with, stay tuned with our advertisements for our announcements for our upcoming family engagement events where you can meet her in person. We also will create a flyer where parents can easily scan a QR code and basically register on this website. We will leave it hanging around the school. We'll also share it on Parent Square.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, Alisha. We're trying, we should all work to, there are tools out there to support and protect our children, and we need to all work together for that. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for this program. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all the, upcoming sessions that you will have with our parents. Dear parents, if you find this presentation important, please share it with others. It will be immediately available on all social medias of the academies after it is done. We will also broadcast it at a wider community websites and social media sites. And enjoy your weekend. If you have any more questions, we have Alisha has shared her information. We will also share it again in a post on Parent Square. And thank you. Please scan the QR code that you see on the screen to give us your feedback and suggestions for upcoming family engagement broadcasts. Any final words, Alisha?
That is it. I just want to tell parents I gave you a ton of information today. Please don't freak out. Do the best you can. And still at the end of the day, the best advice I can give you is to talk to your kids before they see or do any of this. That is the best advice I can give. And just do your best.
Great advice. There is nothing that can replace conversations with our children and having them on the same page as us and being careful and safe online, because whatever tools we use, like Alisha has explained, there is always ways for predators to circumvent and find loopholes to go around it. So it's the best to educate our kids on the dangers online and to protect their privacy in such a heavily addicted world to sharing. Thank you. And with that, we come to an end of our family engagement broadcast. Thank you again, Alisha, and thanks for all those who watched the program, and we'll see you in upcoming episodes. Bye-bye.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM-certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org. Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.